Ah, well now there's a bum of Africa for Taylor. Look at that. Watch how long he drinks for. Only ever short periods of time. He's going to go back down and drink some more, but it's always a very, very short period of time because they can't actually hold their necks down below their heart for extended periods of time. He's going to go down again. It's never longer than 30 seconds, otherwise they actually can run the risk of passing out. Okay, he's going to come up relatively shortly. And that's all part and parcel of their ability to pump blood all the way up that neck against gravity. Ah, how cool is that? Thank you, mister. It was beautifully done. I'm most impressed with your flexibility. But yes, with all of the valve system and the spongy tissue in the brain and so on to help to basically get blood up to the brain and keep it there for a period of time that it needs to be, and then making sure that it doesn't drain too fast. I love the way he's licking his lips, licking all the moisture off his lips. They are adapted to have their heads up this way. Well, that was a truly marvellous sighting. That giraffe really treated us to a splendid moment. However, I know that Brent is still with those adorable little cubs. Let's head back across and see what I believe he described them as fuzzy little monsters are up to.
So we've found 2 more cubs. So there's still 6 out there somewhere. There's one, fast asleep. There's another. There's the Birmingham boy with the hole in his face, and the youngest lioness. So there are 2 cubs with the mating pair, although they haven't been mating much, and we've been here for longer than 15 minutes, and no sign of any frisky felines just yet. Now, I've been trying to keep an eye over my back to where the rest of them were. Just reverse slightly. Oh, that one is just too cute though, hugging his paw. Let's see if we can get a view of the male. I'm going to look back down the road. Can you see where the others were where we left them? I think I see a tail. Let me just have a quick look. Well, maybe I can see that Birmingham boy still fiddling with the hole in his face. There's one big bush between us and the others. I can't see them yet. Well, it's not looking too bad as holes in the face go. And of course, it's not the hole itself that's irritating him. You see how he's lying like that? He's trying to keep the flies out of it. So that's what's irritating him more than anything else. And he's just trying to, he almost looks like he's trying to keep his paw over it to keep the flies from climbing in. And there doesn't look to be much happening here. I'm hoping that the cubs start getting active shortly. No, he's not in the best spot. Let me just try forward a bit for you, Dave. I think there you're going to have a clear view of him. How's that? Better?
Much better. Yeah, we're good.
There we go. That should be it. And now this little one looks like it's about to start getting moving, get playing maybe. Oh, shame. That must be very good. You can see the swelling still. There you can see it's keeping his one eye a little bit closed. That's enough to make anyone grumpy. Now, strangely enough, I've seen very similar injuries on lions in the past as well. Now, what probably happened is he got a bite or a claw. And then what happened is 1 or 2 flies, maybe 3 flies, while that wound was open, managed to lay their eggs around it. Probably while it was quite fresh, so he wasn't feeling it too much. And then what happened is it sealed over. And then, obviously, you were there with Jamie when it exploded open. You can see how much he's irritated by that. Remember, this is live. We're sitting 10 foot away from a massive male lion who's got a hole in his nose, 2 cubs and a lioness in the middle of the African bush. And remember, questions at WildEarthTV or hashtag Safari Live on Twitter if you'd like to ask us any questions. Now Reese says, I know there were originally 5 Birmingham boys, and he's asking if I've ever seen a larger coalition, and would a larger coalition stay together. I think, if I remember correctly, the Mapoho were 6 when they started. I have seen coalitions, young male coalitions of 6 or 7. They don't always stay together. It is possible. Sorry guys, just need to be on the game drive for a second. Elvis, the Ngala on the Ndlela that runs to the east of Buffalo's Hook Dam. So if you head back towards Cheetah Cut Line and take your first right, they're lying on the road. Sorry, I can hear someone struggling to find us. Everything's a toy, even a thorn tree. Oh, that can't be too pleasant, biting a baby knob thorn, you. Now that gives you an idea of how tough even a little lion's mouth is. And those hook thorns would pierce our skin very easily. And yet there he is, nipping at them. Oh, he's got some fleas or a tick he's trying to get off his paw there. You can see that little, using the incisors. So incisors are those small teeth between the large canines. And he's using them to sort of try, almost like a pair of tweezers to remove something from there. And normally when you see lions or hyenas or wild dogs doing that, it's normally a little parasite that's starting to irritate them quite a bit. It can be a thorn, but normally a tick or a flea. There he is, snoozing. Now Paul says that injury still looks quite nasty, and it will make it a bit easier to identify him in the future. You'd be surprised, Paul, how something like that can clear up to almost an invisible scar later on. I saw that with the Mapochos, almost the exact same, and within a couple of months you could barely ever see that there used to be a gaping hole in his face. Come on, cubs, it's getting cool. It's time to start playing, chasing each other about, tackling. This little guy is bent on preening at the moment. Now, the Birmingham boys have multiple prides, and Pa B is wondering, will those prides ever fight with each other over hunting territory? Now, yes, they will. So the Nkahumas will not tolerate the Sticks and the Sticks territory and vice versa. Now, the Nkuhumas obviously have an advantage. There's 5 adult females as opposed to the Sticks 3. But generally, unless there's external pressure, a lot of the female territories are quite set. Now, the females will defend their territory against other females, and they do not tolerate unrelated females to be wandering around in their territory. Well, this is interesting. So none of the mothers, none of the mothers are here. It's just the youngest Nkuhuma, Birmingham, and 2 of the cubs. So I haven't seen the 5th lioness, or how many cubs are we missing? They have 5. 5. We haven't seen 1 female and 5 cubs. I'm sure they're around here somewhere. Oh, there we go. See those flies at him again. I always find it hilarious when lions try to bite flies. I don't think they ever succeed, really. Now, Shamsung is wondering, is it unusual to see cubs with a mating pair like this? No, not that unusual if the rest of the pride are close by. If they're mating away from the pride, yes, it would be. But it's not that unusual if the rest of the pride are close by. Oh, it looks like he's going to try to bite the flies again. You can almost just see him getting ready to leap. Bite that fly. Oh. Now, of course, lying like that often will leave that quite exposed. Oh, tired kitty. Let's go see what the others are doing down on the road. Maybe the 4th lioness. Okay. Just get out of here. For 1 second. You okay there, Dave?
Yeah, good.
Oh, and we got a nice view of the little one there. Hello, guys. Looked like they were thinking about going to join the others, but maybe not. They seem quite content here. We'll look at the rear end to be able to tell for sure. I don't know, it looks like a little boy to me. And it's quite difficult to, once they get a little bit older, you'll start seeing them a bit more easily. Just 1 second. Oh, so those other ones are heading down to the Mati. Are those other ones heading towards the Mati? Okay, copy, thanks. Wasn't that beautiful? Alright, copy. I've got 1 130, 1 Wanuna, and 2 Mampimpan here. So there's 1 130 and 5 Wanuna, 1 Mampimpan somewhere else. Look at that gorgeous eye. Or is he tired? Oh, Dave, come out on this. Come out to the right on this tree there. Zoom there. Look at that, a little gecko. Oh, there we go. I'm not sure which gecko. Oh, and I don't have my gecko book with me. I forgot to bring it. But look at that. It's amazing what you can see if you just look a little bit more carefully. I used to know my geckos a bit better. I'm a bit rusty. I can't remember what species of gecko that is. It's definitely not Turners or Moreaus. You can see how his coloration almost matches the bark to protect him from potential predators. Isn't that nice? No sunbirds, but a gecko. I'm going to have to go research what gecko it is as well. Chick's wondering what is the sound of that bird. Let me see if I can spot it. It is a Cape turtle dove, and they quite often call from a high perch, so let's have a see if we can spot it. Oh, that's not a Cape turtle, but there's another bird. Cape turtle doves in the tree behind. Let's have a look. What have we got there? A red-billed buffalo weaver. Alright. And that's the Cape turtle dove. Oh, we've got it there. So go through to the tree behind that one. A little bit out of it to the center. Somewhere a little bit higher. There. There's something jumping around in the back. I think that's another buffalo. Oh, is it? What have we got there? A grey go-away bird, no? See that movement there? It's unlikely to be the Cape turtle dove. They don't really call while they're moving. They're normally perched. Let's try and roll forward a little bit. I think it is a go-away bird. There we go. Grey go left. There we go. Yes, it is indeed a grey go-away bird. Unfortunately, we can't spot the Cape turtle dove. Sorry, I was going to be on the Game Drive channel for a second. Standing by. Yeah, make your way. 2 stations here. They're on the road that runs on the eastern side of the drainage line from Buffelshoek Dam. And there's 3 and 1 big one lying up on the road, and then there's 1 male, one side, and 2 lying up just to the east of the road. Negative, the one that runs north from Buffelshoek Dam. But I'll just go to the dam and then head on the road that goes north on the eastern side of the dam. the little ones and the mating pair. Come on, guys. It's the time of the day we're supposed to run around and jump on each other. They're picking up bad habits from the adults. A little acacia tree. I wonder where the 5th female and the 5 cubs are. Sure they're around here somewhere. And me and boy still playing Swat the Fly. Hi, Audrey! Audrey is 12 years old in Johannesburg, South Africa. Audrey is wondering, well, what happens if these cubs need milk and their mom's not around? Well, in this circumstances, their mothers are just behind, in front of me there. See where that car is there? They're over there. They're lying up just in front there. And so they can get to milk quite easily. But if their mothers aren't there, they'll stay hidden till their mom comes back. So when the adults are not around, they move around a lot less as to not draw too much attention to themselves when they don't have any protection. Oh, I'm hoping as it gets a bit cooler, they might head down for a drink, or they might go join up with the rest of the cubs for a bit of rough and tumble. It looks like he's thinking about getting up. Who knows, maybe we'll be lucky. Oh, what was that running? Behind us. Franklin. Must have been a little Franklin. I just heard some skitter scattering through the undergrowth. Oh, there we go. Time to start playing. So, guys, I hope you're getting some wonderful screenshots of that little cub's face as the light pops through. Oh, now he looks away as soon as I pick up my camera, of course. And you can see, oh, there we go, he's going to have a yawn. Oh. So if you hear a click, click, it's just me taking a photograph. That light is just wonderful. Oh, my settings are. Just look at that lovely, gorgeous light catches his eyes. Now, as a wildlife photographer, that is one of the things you really look for, especially in a flat cat sighting, is to just get that wonderful glint of light on your subject's eyes. It sort of can make a really flat picture become alive. But while we wait with the Nkahumas, that'll hopefully get moving. And let's go see what Jamie's found.
Oh, we seem to be finding the giants this afternoon, from our wonderful male giraffe sighting earlier, and now on to this spectacular youngish elephant bull. I think he's my friend from this morning, actually, funnily enough. I think he's just been wandering around, perhaps following behind that breeding herd that Herbie told me is not too far away from here. Now, he was being very cooperative right out in the open. He's now being less cooperative. Oh, that's magnificent. There is nothing like an elephant in the afternoon sunlight. You are so beautiful, boy. If only you weren't quite so camera shy. Okay, let me just try going back a little bit just so we've got a clear view of his face. I approached him quite warily, just because a helicopter came past, flying down quite low. Generally, elephants really don't like that sound. They don't appreciate buzzing things up in the sky terribly much. But he seems to be perfectly relaxed. He doesn't seem bothered by his encounter at all. He's just determined not to present us with a view of his beautiful face. You can see him. If we're lucky, we might even see him go up this termite mound. The elephants are surprisingly agile creatures when they want to be. Now, the reason I know that it is a bull for our newer viewers, he's actually presenting us with quite a good view to make that determination. So elephants, telling the difference between males and females, particularly in young individuals, can be quite tricky. And that's one of the big reasons is the fact that elephants' testicles are internal, so they don't have external testes. But if you look at the flap of skin between the elephant's back legs, in males it makes a V. Don't turn. Okay, all right, turn. It makes a V between their back legs, and you can actually clearly see the sheath, whereas in females it's much straighter. So that's one of the ways you can look. Then, of course, the big one is the round forehead of the elephant. Did you hear that as well? I have absolutely no idea what sound that was. There was I don't know if you could you hear it through your headphones? I have no idea what that was. And Xander and I just exchanged very confused expressions when we heard that, because I have absolutely no idea, and it completely made me lose my train of thought. I'm looking around for some kind of small creature, or I have no idea what that was. Sorry, definitely wasn't the elephant. Elephants have a wide variety of vocalizations, but is not one of them. I don't know what that was. It's a mystery. Unless maybe it was his stomach making a weird noise, but it sounded much closer to the vehicle. Very peculiar. Okay, let's go catch up with him on the road. Oh, we're going to get I'm so hopeful we're going to get such a spectacular sighting of this bull. In the afternoon sunlight, it's going to be perfectly silhouetted. Sorry, you'll have to bear with me. This is going to be a bit of a journey, but there is a road just around in the direction that he's heading in. And hopefully that will get us a nice view of him. I was talking about telling the difference between male and female elephants, and I got completely distracted by the peculiar sound. So the profile of the elephant, in male elephants it's round, in female elephants it's very angular. It's quite a sharp junk from their forehead down to their trunk. In males it's a nice round curve. And I'll be able to demonstrate that to you in a moment. Let's just go. Excuse me, Impala. My elephant is racing towards the road. I'm going to catch up with him. We've got a nice road that loops back towards where he's going. Excuse me. Hello. Sorry, you are beautiful, but I'd like to see the elephant first. Excuse me. After you. Just going to move through nice and slowly. It's their home, not mine. And obviously their agenda is not my agenda. Thank you, girls. Okay. And I'm hoping this elephant, it's not a giraffe. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I think I need to go back to my picture books and remember what the different animals look like. Hopefully this elephant is going to move across in this direction, because that's what it looks like he's doing. And that'll put us in the perfect position. It's always nice when the elephant chooses to come past you, rather than you trying to approach the elephant. Which way are you going, big boy? Oh. He heard me. He heard me say that and he promptly changed direction. He didn't actually. He saw that nice green guarri bush that he decided that he wanted. But he completely did a 180 as I came round the corner. Obviously the allure of the green-looking bush was far too much. And just like humans, elephants get tired, although unlike humans, they've got a far greater bulk to bear on their joints and on their legs. And if you watch him, he was doing it earlier, and hopefully he's going to do it again. What they'll often do is they'll rest their weight on one hip and take the weight off one foot every now and again, just like humans do, and you sort of lean on one side a little bit. He is a very camera-shy elephant. Determined we're not going to get a good view of his face. But I think that patience might be the key here, in just waiting for him to slowly move a little bit closer each time. Here's his wrinkly elbow, using his tusk and trunk in conjunction to rip away at the guarri bushes. Lovely bull like this is absolutely, hands down, one of my favorite animals to spend time with, if not my favorite animal to spend time with. There's this all-encompassing sense of peace that one gets in the company of giants. And particularly biggish bulls like this one. He's still quite young. I'd put him in his 20s. But the larger bulls, because they're so secure in their security out here, is he giving us a beautiful view of his face and his round forehead. No boy. Ah, oh, this is stunning. This afternoon has just been providing us with the most beautiful sightings. Oh, our camera-shy elephant has done it again. He's determined to find every scraggly tree and hide behind it. Now he's found something he wants to dig up, so let's go forward a little bit. Now, speaking about our elephant and his shifting weight, David in Napa's asked a question that I didn't know the answer to until I started working at Safari Live. And that was, can elephants get arthritis? And the first time that question I ever heard that question being asked was when it was asked to Scott on my job interview many, many months ago, over a year ago now. And we went and did some research when I was here doing my job interview. And the answer is yes, they can. They can get arthritis, but it is much, much more common in captivity. So elephants in zoos, oh, heaven forbid, in circuses, anything like that, the elephants in captivity where they've got a limited range of motion. This is getting ridiculous. Okay, forward it is then. So anywhere where they have a limited range of motion, it seems to be that the cases of arthritis it's far more common. Which way are you going, mister? Make up your mind. He's just strolling from nice tree to nice tree. So yes, David, they can. There's not a huge amount of research into the sort of percentage of the occurrence of arthritis in the wild. It's most likely the case that they do get it, particularly old elephants. And if you watch a really, really old elephant, they do seem to move gingerly, carefully, a little bit slower than the younger elephants, and stands to reason that that could be due to arthritis, as well as, of course, other age-related conditions. And just like human beings, all mammals, their eyesight and their hearing degenerates as they get older. It is just one of those things, and in elephants particularly, one of the true fascinating things about elephants is the process of their teeth being ground down. So an elephant goes through 6 sets of teeth throughout his life. Our gentleman is probably on his 3rd set at this point, and I'm talking about their enormous molars. Now he's probably on his 3rd set. By the time they get to about 45 years old, they're on their 6th set, and once that gets to that point, there's no further set to replace it. So an elephant needs to eat constantly to maintain their body weight. They're such massive animals, it stands to reason. But all of that chewing has an effect, and that effect is to grind down the molars very, very over the course of about 15 years or so. Wait, that's not right. About 10 years between elephant teeth sets, molar sets. Oh, he is absolutely magnificent. Now, Safari Ginny in Canada, on the subject of how old our Ellie is, you're saying the indents at his temples, does that indicate that he is older? And very, very astute of you, because yes, that is one of the good ways of aging an elephant. So the more sunken their temporal region gets, the older the elephant, because essentially they lose bone mass and they lose subcutaneous fat and skin elasticity. In this case, the little indents there actually tell me that he's quite young. So all elephants have those indents between his ear and his eye, those indents around there, the temporal area. So all elephants have them, and then this in fact is not, this elephant, those indents are not particularly pronounced. But it's a really good point that you've made, a really good observation. And Safari Ginny, as you keep watching, will show you a really, really old elephant at some point, whether it be an old female or an old male. And you'll be able to see just how sunken those regions actually do get. When the elephant reaches older than 35 years old, closer to 40, it becomes really, really clear. Onwards! Hey, Mr. Ellie. He's not moving away from us, by the way. He's just casually walking to where there's nice trees. Hey, boy. And although it looks like a slow, almost lazy walk that he's doing, they actually cover an enormous amount of ground, which makes sense when your legs are that long. Hey boy, I don't want to come in your way. So how about let's make a deal. I'll just stop here. Oh, and you'll stop there. Fair enough, let's go forward a little bit before we go right in, Zander. I just didn't want to block his path. But since he stopped to feed off the tree, there we go. Here we go. He is resting his weight again, taking it off the back right leg. James Richards said perhaps this elephant with his camera-shy nature is very similar to Connor, who is our wonderful member of our tech team. And yes, Connor certainly does share a distaste for the camera. No, 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 no. Yeah, pretend to eat. Pretend to eat. I'm so glad to hear that Gracie, who is 9 years old, is watching. Now, Gracie, I know, absolutely loves elephants. They're one of her favorite animals alongside hippo. And Gracie, yes, I think the elephants are really, really happy that we've had some rain. I think it must make such a difference to them. I think elephants, if any animal knows what the rain means, I think an elephant would. I think they know that green grass and fresh green leaves are on their way. So yes, I think it makes them really happy. And just imagine how bored they've been with the sort of twig and stick-based diet that they've been consuming. It must be so nice to eat something fresh and green. Hey boy, look at him. They're not quite at the point yet where the leaves have fully turned, so they're still eating a lot of bark, which is what he's doing now. He's just stripping the bark away. And just by the way, the reason that I changed my tone there earlier and just told him no is because he actually thought about coming to give us a scare. And bull elephants often do that. I think they'd actually quite like the feeling of being big and intimidating, and sometimes they they learn that behavior from people driving away straight away, and for them it's fun. It's like being bullies on a playground. So the reason I changed my tone was just a warning to him that I got his message, and that because we're not in his space, we're still at a nice distance, it was not up to him to come into mine. And that's very much dependent on each situation that you're in. And it's all about reading the body language of the elephant. And elephants, whilst they don't understand the words, definitely understand our tone. Which is why as soon as he stopped, my tone went straight back to normal. Yes, big boy. You're very big. And you're very beautiful. And thank you for giving us this amazing view. I'm hoping at some point for a nice silhouette shot. And while we wait for the sun to go down, let's have a look at Brent's view of a spectacular summer sunset.
We had a spectacular sunset, but I made Dave leave it because the Birmingham boy stood up. Now, of course, we're as beautiful as sunsets are. I think I'd rather look at a big male lion trying to be amorous with the lioness and see what happens here. Is he going to get a smack? Is it going to add... Oh, there we go. Now, this is the first time they've moved since we've been here, and we've been here some time. The little cubs running around in the background. No. Oof. What are you doing back there, Butch? Let's go forward a little bit. Big yawn. Was he pretending with us about moving? He's gone back to lie down. Oh, yawn up front. Cubs are starting to get a little bit more active. I said, I hope they're going to go join the others. The flies haven't quite left him alone yet. Another yawn coming. Oh! So Fiona is wondering how far male lions would travel to take over a territory. Now that all depends, Fiona. They can travel actually quite big distances. The Birmingham boys come from about 40, 50 kilometers to the north of us. And, oh, there's another yawn. Now it all depends on lion densities at that very moment. So they become nomadic at about 3, and depending on coalition size, they only normally become dominant at about 6. The Birmingham boys became dominant a bit younger because there were 5 of them. Now, they can travel up to 5, 6 territories. It all just depends on the lion density. So if they keep moving, keep encountering other dominant males that keep chasing them, they can sometimes move very big distances. And sometimes in areas that the lion densities aren't that high, they don't move that far away from their natal range. So there's no hard and fast answer to that, Fiona. It just literally completely depends on the year and the lion densities in the area. Ah, the flies. Shame. It must be incredibly irritating. Arlene is wondering why oxpeckers don't sit on lions. Because the lions will try eat them, Darlene. They are a cat, and instinctively they chase things. That's why you don't find oxpeckers on lions, or leopards, or hyenas, or wild dogs, or any of the predators. Oh, big yawn coming at the back. Well, no, not such a big yawn. Come on, guys, time to go have a drink. I got a feeling they're not going to be too active too early tonight with all the buffalo that's in their belly. At least in the hours of darkness there's less insects to bother that wound. Oh, he's up. Keep still, Dave. So they're less than a foot from us, so just keep still. Don't swing. First, especially while they're mating, they can be a little bit... Okay, you good, go. Oh, they're going to mate right next to us. Well, he's going to try at least. Oh dear, he's not very good. Oh, there we go. He got it right. He looks very impressed with himself now. And he's had the decency to move behind the car so the cubs couldn't see. Of course, no, I'm only joking. They don't mind. Hello, big boy. And you can see how they really don't take any notice of the car. Now, the reason I told Dave not to move is that they were very close. They were less than a meter. So what's that in feet? I don't know what that is. Less than a foot, maybe, from Dave. And especially now with his testosterone up, or now it's down again. Sometimes they can get a bit of a fright when you move when they're that close to you. That's why I just asked Dave not to. As soon as they were past, it was fine. Oh, we got cubs coming at us on the right. Oh, stopping for a comfort break on the way. Nope, I thought they were going to come move. Itchy ear. No, back to snooze. Right, doing a bit of preening. Hello, little one. They are just too cute. It looks like the games are starting now between the little ones. Wonder if they're going to go find the rest of their siblings and cousins. This male is getting very aggressive with the flies. When you see how close he is. Almost, he actually hit himself in the face quite hard a few seconds ago. Hi Gracie, who's 9 years old, says that male lion needs a Hello Kitty band-aid, and Gracie also says nice to have me back. Well, thanks Gracie. Oh, no. I'm saying who's going. I can hear lions moving on either side of me. I think let's stick with the male for now. Shame. Oh, don't worry, the flies will be gone shortly. It's getting dark. Oh, both of them got up like they heard something. Could be the other lionesses that we saw earlier. Just trying to see if I can hear what they hear. Obviously the lion's hearing is much better than mine. I can't hear what they're hearing. Now, judging from that mating we saw just now, it's getting towards the end of the mating, just from her reaction. Now Susie says she wonders why it doesn't seem to be as painful, that's mating, for lionesses as it does for leopardesses. Well, it does. I think this is quite a long way into the mating. So, I mean, when the rest of the pride took down that buffalo, she wasn't with them. So she'd already been mating for at least a day, maybe two before then. So they normally only mate for 4 or 5 days, so this could be right towards the end of the mating. As soon as she moves, he's on it. Now it looks like she might go join the rest of the lionesses. Look at him. Oh, there we go. There we go. See how she moves the tail out of the way. And I think he's... No, there we go. He was missing. He's now on target. So after no mating for at least an hour and a half, we've got 2 in 10 minutes. Not even. Now, I can't see what the other lions down on the road are doing. Two little cubs are still in the thicket behind us, but we can't really see them too well. And of course these two are right next to us. Male lions do look silly when they're trying to battle flies. The Nat.Geo is wondering, why do their females lie or roll over after mating? And is it to help getting pregnant? Yes, it is. It's to help make sure the semen doesn't drip out. Now, where are those two troubles off to? They're off on their own mission. So maybe that other lioness with the other 5 cubs is off that direction. Or they're going to just go climb that termite mound for fun. Well, looks like they're climbing up to the top of the termite mound, getting themselves a good vantage. So, the 2 cubs over there, it looks like they're not really up to too much. You can just see them there. Oh, the lioness is up again. Woof! Off you go, mister. Tired of your advances. Alright, bit of a scent mark on that tree as he walked past. Oh, looks like she stood on a thorn. So I've got a thorn. I'm not stopping for you. You okay, Dave?
Yeah.
See, there they are. I'm going to go join up with the rest of the pride. He's trying to stop her. Oh, ow! What was that? Thorn in the back. Oh, that was a good one as well. Right into my back. Made me jump. Well, while I was jumping, the lions were going flat. So let's go back to Jamie and some more elephants.
It seems to be an elephant-themed evening this evening. How absolutely marvellous. What a wonderful way to enjoy the last half an hour or so of our sunset safari and spending it in the company of these amazing animals. I'm speaking quite softly just because this female's been a bit odd. I don't know what it is about her body language, but there's just something a little bit strange about her. Hey, big girl. Hello. Perhaps she's being particularly protective since there are some calves in the back, though none of them are particularly young. A big girl. Here we go. Hi. Okay, just let her come past us and then we might have a really nice view of the little youngster at the back. Hello, little one. Now don't come and cause trouble here, please. Otherwise your mommy's going to get very cross with me. Hello. Oh, there's nothing like a baby elephant. It's so thoroughly entertaining. Their skin always looks a little bit overly large for their bodies. It's not Benjamin Button, the amazing little elephant with the wrinkly forehead, the wrinkliest forehead of any baby elephant you ever did see, or his mom Olympia, as named by Gracie. I haven't seen them in a little while, and I'm sure we will at some point encounter Mr. Benjamin Button once again. These elephants are also playing camera shy today. It's nice to just sit for a moment and enjoy the sounds of the evening. The cicadas are starting up. Cacophony of francolins calling in the distance. I'm hoping we might hear a fiery Nat.Geo or two as the evening starts to descend. Hey, big girls. The bush is being quiet this evening. Just a little bit of air blowing through as the last of the cold front disappears. And our Ellies are sort of thinking about doing the same thing. Why don't you guys go pop onto quarantine quickly? We can have a really stunning silhouette. Quarantine, for our new viewers, is a big open area where there's very few bushes, and it has provided us with some really truly magical sightings. Look at her twisting that branch around. Little one naturally has to come and see what Mom is so focused on. Oh, no, moving past. Either this is a late bloomer or a tuskless elephant. You do occasionally get individuals without tusks. Hello, little one. That little one is definitely just a little elephant. It hasn't grown its tusks yet. But the individual at the back might actually be tuskless. She's quite old not to... Sorry, he. It's a he. No, it's a she. It's starting to get a bit dark. And she's definitely old enough to... We should be seeing tusks on her. I think perhaps we've got a tuskless individual as part of this herd. The two big cows that you can see from there definitely have an impressive set of tusks. Hey, big girl. You've put yourself in a very inconvenient place. Do you mind if I reposition? Let's do that. It is starting to get a little bit dark. It's at that sort of half-light stage. Let me do this. This might work a little better. Oh no, that's embarrassing. Here we go. There we go. We've sort of got a view of them, although most of them are quite hidden in the vegetation. but it's definitely beautiful. One of my favorite things to do as it starts to get dark is just sit with elephants in pitch black and just listen to the sounds of them feeding, particularly on a full moon night where you don't have to use any lights. You can see exactly where the elephants are, so you don't need to worry about being in their way or anything like that. You just sit and enjoy their company. Okay, our Ellies are going to slowly start disappearing. I'm going to head off and see what nocturnal creatures I can find. Let's head across to Brent, whose lioness is quenching her thirst.
Well, just one has headed down with a single cub to have a drink. Others might appear behind us. He's calling. Little one's making some noise. Oh, I can hear contact calls. Very softly, she heard them at the same time. Ow. Ow. It sounds like an adult lioness contact call. But she's going to have a drink first. I'll keep a look behind, see if the rest of the pride come. I think the lionesses have all come down to drink from the tracks I could see at different times. Oh, can you hear the male growling as well? Got a wet nose. Marilee would like to know whether there's a queen lioness who decides when it's time to move or get a drink. No, not necessarily, Marilee. There's no distinct hierarchy amongst the females. And when one's thirsty, it'll go for a drink. If they move, they generally almost always move together. But if one doesn't want to move, it doesn't. It just carries on sleeping. But of course the social bonds between the pride are so tight. There you go, contact calling. That'll teach you. Don't jump on things from the front, especially not buffalo. Now she's heading back towards where the other females were. And it's getting dark now. I think we're going to leave the lions to themselves and see what other creatures we might come upon. But we will definitely come search for the incredible Nkahumas on the sunrise safari. They disappear off into the night. They might not do too much hunting. Oh, can you hear the contact calls again? Okay, kitty cats, we'll see you in the morning. I wonder what other delectable nocturnal creatures are out there for us to find. I'm hoping for some owls. And so while we move away from the lions, let's go see what Jamie's up to.
Pretty much the same thing as Brent, actually. I'm also looking for other animals of the evening. Unfortunately, despite our extended night drives and despite the fact that we saw some incredible sightings, it did not yield an aardvark, which is quite devastating to me. I was convinced I was going to get to see one and that you'd all be with me to experience my first aardvark sighting. For new viewers, it is totally ridiculous that I've never seen an aardvark, because I worked in a place that was known for its aardvark sightings in the Kalahari. I even went on an aardvark capture once to catch and tag for research purposes. And apparently I've got some kind of aardvark. I don't know if it's a curse or what it is, but I've just never seen one. So our night drives didn't yield an aardvark, and unfortunately as we go further into summer, the chances of my seeing one straight after sunset is relatively slim. They only pop out once it starts to get a little bit cooler. Although this evening's quite cool, you never know. But I've decided that my mission for tonight is going to be to try and spot a chameleon. Also an animal that we haven't seen much of recently. And last year was not particularly good for chameleon sightings. I'm hoping that this year, with a little bit more rain, fingers crossed, we might get to see more of them. An aardvark. Chameleons are deceptively easy to spot at night, because at night they lose the necessity to actually be the color of the leaves, or that greenish color that they go, which means that basically all of the pigment relaxes in their skin, or the crystals relax beneath the layer of their skin, and they basically go a white color, which means that with a little bit of practice, just glancing over trees and knowing which trees to look in, they're usually quite easy to spot. But last year was terrible for chameleons. I'm hoping this year might be different. All of the guarri bushes, the acacia trees, these are all likely spots for a chameleon to hide. It's been so long since I've seen a chameleon. Apparently when I was a kid, but I don't remember this, or at least when Johannesburg was less developed than it is now. When my parents first built the house in Johannesburg, they told me that they used to see chameleons in the garden there all the time. And I find it really, really sad that due to urbanization, it was something that as a kid I would have loved to have found a chameleon in my garden. And by the time I was old enough to understand, they'd all gone. Probably due to, a lot of it would have been house pets, particularly cats, and just the general loss of habitat as well. Change of environment. Come on. Got to be careful though. When you're spotlighting like this, I just spoken to Zander about it. The fact that you've got to be careful of focusing too much on one individual animal, that you forget to look for all of the others. So I feel as though our night drive successfully gave us genet, civet, and white-tailed mongoose, particularly white-tailed mongoose. We had an incredible sighting of one. I'm hoping for something a little different this evening. Judy H, on the subject of it getting dark and going off in search of nocturnal creatures, he wants to know if the infrared cameras are only reserved for special occasions. And the answer is no, absolutely not. They're permanently installed, and we will use them when the situation arises to use them. I think that Brent left the lions just because perhaps there were other vehicles that might have been wondering what he was up to. I don't know. He might have just decided that he wanted to go and seek something else. And the same reason with our elephants. We we actually have quite a limited range from our vehicle to the animal that we can see with the infrared. It's an awesome system, but it only extends a certain distance into the bush, and after that we can't see anything. So for our elephants, for example, it would have been next to impossible for me to have been able to put them on screen in infrared. But if we were to trundle along here and encounter an elephant herd in the road, then absolutely we would stop and put them in infrared. And then with the cubs also, just thinking about it, it's difficult. You actually can't. You can't drive off-road without lights, and we can't spotlight cubs, obviously, or we don't spotlight cubs. So that's where sort of the distinction lies. But absolutely, if we were to come across Karula hunting in front of me, then we would switch immediately to infrared and have an awesome sighting. I'm about to blind this poor individual who's coming around the corner. Our vehicles are lit up like Christmas trees. I'm not sure what this means. Does it mean don't crash into me? Does it mean we're in deep trouble? I'm uncertain. I think it might just mean don't crash into me. Let's find out. And then I'll answer Cindy in North Carolina's question. Good evening. Hello, hello everybody. How's it?
Jimmy?
Yes.
How are you?
Good, thanks Abel. How are you?
Good.
You just making sure I don't crash into you. In the dark.
Yeah. How's it going?
Good, thanks. How are you
What
guys?
do you drive? What hours do you drive?
Our standard drives 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the afternoon.
Okay, is
Yeah.
that all?
Yes. Sometimes. We do extended shows, or if there's something exciting happening, then we
And
do
are you
longer.
online all the time?
I am. I'm actually presenting at the moment. So sorry. Sorry. But I will encounter you. How long are you here for?
For the week.
For the week. Okay, I will encounter you at some point, and then I'll be able to chat a little bit more.
Okay.
Cool. But if you want more info, you can just pop onto wildsafarilive.com. Cool. All right. Okay, thanks, Abel. Enjoy, guys. Bye. Enjoy your week. Cheers. Bye. Sorry. Well, I suppose you get some answers. If you're a new viewer, you might have... Right, where was I? Ah, there we go. Cindy in North Carolina. I'm sorry, your question went straight out of my head with that conversation. In terms of our updates of our hyena clan, oh, they're around. They're around, they're just still not denning, I'm afraid. They're staying exactly where they are in Manueleti. Their tracks every single day cross onto Djuma from Manueleti and back. So they're coming every single evening past our camp. They're coming to visit our camp, in fact, last night. One of them decided to pop its head in. I don't know which one. It was definitely one of the females. She very boldly stuck her head around the corner whilst we were all sitting up. So unfortunately, it doesn't look as though they've moved back just yet. I promise you, I drive past and check each and every single day. I always check the tracks to see if they're going into the den sites. But no such luck. They haven't come back to us yet. They will, I hope. I really, really hope. I keep saying that, but I'm slightly devastated by the loss of our hyena clan. We haven't lost them, we know where they are. It's just unfortunately for our newer viewers, they've gone to the north of our traverse area. So we would spend hours and hours of our days sitting with the hyena clan at the hyena den, enjoying the cubs. And now in hindsight, I'm so, so glad that we did spend as much time as we did with them. Because they've vanished now, and we actually hardly ever get to see them on our live drives. I think the big reason Brent sort of disagrees. He thinks it's the hyena clan to the west. I think it's the Nkuhumas and the fact that they've been denning here and raising their cubs here. Alright, well, as I trundle around to strike fear into the hearts of more vehicles so they have to put their hazard lights on, let's head across to Brent and find out what he's up to.
So, well, we're in search of anything. And I know Jamie was just talking about chameleons. And I've been keeping my eye open. I haven't seen any yet. But there should be some after that rain. Now, we probably need a bit more warm weather before we start spotting them regularly. But I've got a question for you guys. What country in the world has the most chameleon species? And how many chameleon species do we get here? So it's two questions. So what country in the world has the most chameleon species? And how many chameleon species occur in the Sabi Sands? Hashtag Safari Live on Twitter for your answers, or email the answer to questions@WildEarthTV. How many chameleon species? What country has the largest number of chameleon species in the world? And how many chameleon species occur in the Sabi Sands? I'm checking all the chameleons' favourite tree peripheries, mostly on spike thorns, worries, occasionally on a combretum. The frogs, strange enough, are quite quiet tonight. I've driven past a couple of pans hoping to hear a cacophony of amphibians, but no such luck. We need a little bit more rain, a little bit more grass cover around those pans. And then Mousy was wondering where all the frogs are hiding. So they're probably the frogs are probably still in hiding. Oh, there's a bush baby at the top of that tree. Got him, Dad? Oh, I've lost him. Right, there he is. There he is. Top frame. Oh, you had him? There. Down a bit. Up a bit. Oh, he's proving to be a sneaky bush baby. It's a bit far, I think. Tatya, you're spot on. Madagascar indeed has the most species of chameleon. About 150. There could be a few species that they haven't identified, which is about half the world's chameleon species. Isn't that amazing? In one country. Now, a lot of those island species, or on an island like Madagascar, you get great speciation because it's isolated from mainland Africa. Now, after Madagascar, the country that's got the second most amount of chameleon species is Tanzania. And again, there's a lot of inselbergs in Tanzania, or sort of mountain ranges that are completely isolated from other mountains. The Udzungwas are my personal favorites. There's also the Usambaros and quite a few, and the Imbarikas. Actually, the Imbarika Mountains, I'm one of 3 white people ever to walk over those mountains. That was a long time ago. But and the reason there's speciation there, and the reason Tanzania has the second most chameleon species in the world, is because it's remnant rainforest. And what happened is, as those individual mountain ranges, so got the only patches of forest left. So the chameleons that would have been the exact same species when that whole area was forested, over the last millennia have diversed completely from one individual mountain to another. So it is really, really fascinating when you look at the evolution of the different species as they evolve. Hi. Hi, Brad. How are you guys doing? Good afternoon. Good. Well, we're talking about chameleon species. We're watching, on Game Drive and watching. Jeez. Ah, yes. Enjoy, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Let's go see if we can find a chameleon. Fancy that, on Game Drive and streaming us live at the same time. Isn't that quite wonderful? So as I was saying, and I've been fortunate enough to walk over and walk through a lot of those really remote areas of southern Tanzania. And I've seen some of the most incredible chameleons with the 4 horns coming out of their faces, bright orange, bright pinks. Very, very interesting. There's also an speciation in snakes on those mountain ranges. You get a bright red spitting cobra. Would you believe it? I'm doing one last check around Chelepan. Let's switch off and see if we can hear any frogs that might want us to find them. Alas, no bubbling casinos, no golden leaf folding frogs, no painted reed frogs, no bushveld rain frogs, no tremolo sand frogs. Okay, I could actually go on for quite a while, but I won't. But it's been great having you out on the sunset safari, and it is going to be a spectacular African evening. The stars are out, but Dangerous Dave and Jamie and all the rest of the Safari Live crew will see you tomorrow for the sunrise safari, and we'll definitely go have a look if those Nkuhumas are still around. But for now, bon nuit.